Wow.
This pattern will have trouble with those applications.
Sea lions, if you actually got out of the truck and approached them, they'd all run to the water. They're just so used to vehicles coming by.
Barking at the star. This is beautiful.
Some more sea lions on the beach there.
He's performing now. In concert. Oh. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this spot is approximately, and we don't know for sure, no, never will, but it meets all the accounts of the actual spot where Juana Maria was located when she was found by George Nidever and his crew. So definitely up on one of these dunes here. And this fits exactly the position. It's at this end of the island. It's on one of the first big dunes in from the shoreline. And she would have been facing this way. You didn't see the rest of the crew coming across the low spot. You can see, you can't see down below there. And one of the guys came around the end of the island, came around and came up behind her, and found her here in a hut, or a windbreak even as they call it, made of brush. And she was there with a couple of dogs, just sitting quietly, working away.
Wow. That's incredible. There's all the shell, stone chips and clay.
Good shaped sail. This is the small sailors wrapped around there. It's what's called a root cast.
Uh-huh.
It's a calcium carbonate concentration around a root
I see.
that forms in sand dunes. And this ends up being almost as hard as shell, but it's gritty. So it makes it real good for filing and rubbing and shaping things.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of work on like you would a file or a sandpaper or something like that.
Yes.
So eventually work down. So that's one of the things they probably used. It's kind of unique to the island. It's found on San Miguel as well, and a little bit on San Clemente Island, but it's kind of a unique thing that kind of bridges the gap between sandstone, which just immediately crumbles
Yes.
into nothing, and some of this harder rock, which really just good for grinding, maybe for chopping or something. It's not really for grinding. So it's kind of for grinding, working on. Pretty hefty.
Yeah, but it seems to have been
Surface
smooth
here,
to that surface.
It
Yeah.
looks like, yeah, this is the natural surface.
Yes.
This side looks like it's definitely been used and smoothed out quite a bit. Sandstone doesn't really preserve a good slick surface like some other types of stone does, but it definitely looks like it's been used.
Wow.
Some kind of a working surface, a workbench, a grinding slab or something.
Yes.
Can't really say what exactly, but if you're doing anything out here, any kind of fine work, you'd want some kind of stable surface to work on. So
Yes.
something like that, even if you had a skin over the top of it, would still be a good solid surface to work on and be able to work something on while you held it steady. Like
Very
you want a
nice.
workbench and a vise or something. Too.
There you go.
The kind of the harder stone that's available on the island.
Uh-huh.
It's not really good for flint knapping, but you can make some serviceable cutting tools from this. And so probably what they would do, they would just make something real quick. Maybe it's something like this where it's got a little bit of an edge to it. Use it a few times, it's going to break down pretty rapidly because it's not really good stone, but if you use it a few times, toss it and make another one.
Yes.
There's no real lack of the stone, but consequently we don't get a lot of nicely shaped.
Yes.
Stone.
Not refined to the point of
Right, exactly.
Being-
It's something you would normally recognize. Now we do get some of those, but those are on material that's imported into the island.
I see.
Chert, obsidian, things like that. But that's not found here natively, so most of what you see is they're just dealing with what they have. available.
Yes.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Very, very tiny little snails. But when you find a big concentration like this,
Yes.
we assume that they're eating them.
Yes.
Even as small as they are edible. Take a fair amount of effort to get to them, but it could have been a delicacy, a spice or something, which, you know, we have very small quantities of spices that we use and things like that, so they might have used really small quantities of certain things just to spice up their meals. After a while, you get tired of eating abalone every night. Don't you?
Yes, yes you do.
Abalone and lobster and crab. Oh, that's
Oh, boy.
man. No, that just means it's been used much more intensively. It's intense occupation. You get gray down even into absolute black.
Okay.
When it's really been used a lot, there's a lot of humus, there's a lot of fat, there's a lot of, you know, leftover leaves and things that have decomposed
Yes.
to make like a really rich soil, really what it amounts to. But it's a good indicator that surface has been lived on quite intensively for a long period of time. One of the things that happens on sand dunes is you could have that, and then overnight it can build up this pure sand for a foot or two, and then you start to build up a whole nother midden layer all over.
Yes.
So it was very complex. Trying to piece together where people were living and when. It's because of the way they build up and they get cut back down again. Somebody sat down and had a big giant feast on urchin that day or something. Sushi, that's what it's called. They still, today the Japanese love that.
Really?
Well, no, it's just a rib, a sea lion rib.
Wow.
Thought it was going to be a little bone tool there at first, but it hasn't. Asphalt coat. We have a basket of asphalt. Make it watertight.
I see.
Waterproof water. And it's also used as a gel. It's for gluing things together, repairing broken things. Elmer's glue. Kind of a general purpose kind of stuff, but it's readily available. Just melt it. Apply it on anything.
Beautiful. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
sitting inside the abalone shell. I need to date for that.
A lot of patience to do.
Yep.
That's one of the projectile points, the Monterey banded shirt one. You can turn it over, the bar is dry. This could either be used as fishing line, matting, fish nets, whalebone hot tar spreader, 2 whalebone, what do you call it, fish net gauges, marine mammal, and a bird bone punch or awl, and then a bird bone whistle. They were completely covered in tar, inlaid with little white olive beads everywhere, and then they had abalone inlay on a couple different spots. You can still see the abalone residue on it.
Beautiful.
This was found with several pieces of kind of a grayer soapstone, and I tried fitting them back together to see if it was the shoulders, and it
Yes.
turned out it was 2 smaller elephant seal effigies. So these 3 were found together. Safety mats on this side. Need to get some. I found 1 canoe plank at the Smithsonian, and it had the X design on it, and 1 bowl had a raised X on the bottom. Little arrowheads are pretty rare. I mean, I think if we have a dozen, I'd be surprised.
We saw.
A whole bunch of times. Not that guy, this guy, right here.
Oh, this guy,
That
even
guy.
smaller.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this one's small, but that was tiny.
There it is. Oh, not too close. There we go. I'll give it a point of reference here. Put my finger there. There we go, with my finger. Alright. Alright.
Made in what, 68?
60. Stick this on back. Nice.
1959.
Good afternoon. At this time, please remove the safety information car and follow along as I describe the safety.